Right. What is the driving cost? What is the running cost for the EQC? It's Oladipo here. What is the running cost? To me, the running cost, the first running cost, is the cost of purchase. By the way, can you subscribe right now? Don't forget to subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out some helpful materials out there. If you love Mercedes, if you love EVs, I'm sure those materials will be useful to you. Now, the first cost of running the entire car is to be able to buy the car in the first place. So the first issue is, how do you get it? How do you get the car? In the UK, if you live in the UK, we have, I'm sure this also happens in other developed countries, we have different purchasing options. Just bear with me. I'm just getting out of my driveway, and some people have parked in different places, making it difficult to actually get out. So I think I've managed to get out now. So what I'm saying is that wherever you live in the developed world, there will be finance options. And those finance options are different. The first one is personal loan. When you go to your bank, you say, look, I want to buy a car. Are you able to finance that? And they will say, do you have any property? Do you have any collateral? Any assets? By the way, for the personal loan, please don't get a loan now from the bank and secure that loan against your house or your mortgage. It's not advisable. But there's a possibility. It's possibly better for a used car, because you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a new car that's going to depreciate like mad after you just drive it away from the showroom. So it's not a best investment of money. When you think about it with regards to personal loan, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're buying used cars that are not particularly expensive. But what is very common is leasing. I leased this car. Now, the EQC, as if you search the internet, there's a whole bunch of deals out there. But what they tend to do is that they will do those deals based on the mileage that you want to drive per year. So the cheapest, of course, is 5,000 miles. But with the leasing, you have to pay the upfront payment. Usually between the 6 months, the first 6 months, the standard is 9 months for a car of this category, and it's not cheap. It's going to be between 4,000 and 5,000, between 4,000 to 6,000, depending on different deals for pounds in the UK sterling. Then the monthly installment will range from 600 to up to 1,200 pound, depending on how many mileage you do a year. And it's not cheap. This is 6,000. This is 65,000. I wish it was 6,000. 65,000 pound car. You could buy 2 EVs. You could buy one Skoda Enyaq, which I've driven, by the way. Fantastic car. It suits every purpose. It delivers maximum range. If you're not looking for a luxurious premium SUV, please go for those in the category of the Enyaq, of the ID, VW ID4, ID3, and we have Mustang. We have the Mustang alternative as well, and we have a whole bunch of them. We have the Ioniq. Is the Ioniq is called? The Ioniq 5. So I tell you what, there's a lot of cheaper alternatives. But if you insist that you want to buy a car of £65,000, you should be ready to pay for the premium. So usually what we find is that the deposit will be very, very high. Then depending on the mileage, they will now say, okay, maybe £650 that you have to pay every month for the next 2, 3 months, 3, 4, or even 2, 3, or 4 years. I think 4 years is the maximum. I'm not sure, I might be wrong. If you know that, leave the comments. If you're an expert in motor financing. So what I'm looking at is a situation where you realize that the running cost doesn't just start from charging. The running cost starts from what you pay out every month on your car note. So, and that is something that many people need to consider. You don't want to stretch too much for you to be able to drive a car. I prefer to go a little bit below what I'm able to afford, so that I have a leg room, basically. Now, after you figure out to buy the car, you have the car in your garage, then the running cost starts with regards to charging. Charging is one of your least worries, trust me. Because if you get a good electric deal, you have to shop around for a specific EV deal, electric motor deal. By the way, apologies, I've got this is a new road that has just been laid, and it's got a lot of bumps, and they've not done the tarmac properly. So shop around for your electric deal. In the UK, there are a number of electricity companies who are now specifically offering deals for electric vehicles. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. The one I got in my house is actually a good deal, 9p per kilowatt hour. 9p a pair, but it has to be at off-peak. So usually every evening from 9 p.m. and all day weekend. So if I charge during the peak time, I will have to pay, I think, about 20p or something, or 21p. But off peak is 9p. So 9p multiplied by 80 kilowatt hour, which is the maximum usable battery life capacity for this car. So it comes to around £7. £7 for a car that could deliver 255 miles on a single charge. That is a great deal. I go to London from West Yorkshire to London for less than £7. But you have to consider that is your home charging. If you're charging this car on the roadsides, maybe you're on the road, on road trips, it's going to be considerably more expensive. I've just come back from London. I charged at the BP Chargemaster, and it cost me about £18 from 0 to 100. £18. That was because I still have the subscription, which brought it down from £36 to £23. So if you have a subscription with a BP Chargemaster, you pay less. So that's interesting. But if you buy the EQC from 2020 onwards, this is the 2021 model, you will have a built-in subscription that the Mercedes has already negotiated with including alongside with the VW group, the BMW group. So they've negotiated together to use a variety of charge points at a discounted rate. So you'll be able to access that straight away, which is fantastic. And there's a particular one that is just going to be for a year. I think, is it the Ionity? The Ionity one, which is one of the biggest ones with regards to fast charging, up to 350 kilowatt hour. So that's for just 1 year on your Mercedes Me Charge subscription. So just make sure that you allow the app to locate the charging points, and you should automatically, there's a way that they will automatically recognize that you're driving an EQC, and they will take that off your bill. You realize that you're paying a cheaper rate. So on the whole, it's easy to maintain. Even the servicing is cheaper because there's little moving parts. There's no engine there. There's little things to service. So the servicing is cheaper, and road tax is non-existent. You don't pay any road tax. So overall, you are saving money. But whether or not you actually save enough to offset the initial capital invested is a debate that many people have to justify. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to cars, I just want to drive a nice car. So at the end of the day, I'm not really sure whether I've made the right decision or not. But what I try not to do is to overstretch. I want to drive a nice car that I'm happy with, that doesn't make me to be financially bankrupt and not be able to take care of my family. Once that is taken care of, I look for pleasure. I look for what makes me happy, what kind of car I want to get into on a daily basis, and that's what's driving my energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure sharing with you. I hope this has been useful. Please like this and subscribe, and let me know if there's any other topic you want me to talk about. If there's something you want to know about the EQC specifically. I'm driving the sport version, the £65,000 one. I think I got an option for the color. This is I think it's a dark blue color. I think that just pushes it above 65,000. But you can add a whole bunch of bells, a whole bunch of specs. If you decide to go crazy, this car can be about nearly £80,000 if you go crazy on specs. But I don't go crazy on specs, so I'm a nice boy. So all the very best, and speak to you soon. Bye bye.